Hi, I'm Audrey, and this is Mark, and we both have cervical dystonia, and we're going to share our stories with you. So, Mark, how much hell have you been through?
You name it, it's I've tried, been through everything. I'm 44 years old and I've never experienced anything like this in my life, and I've went through a lot of stuff. I'm also a veteran, 10 years, and I'm a retired police officer. So I've had my fair share of traumas and stuff like that, but this takes the cake.
I agree. I have problems with people believing me that my seizures are real. They tell me that I'm faking it for attention, and I've even been committed by my ER for having seizures in the ER and saying that I was actually bipolar and not dystonia, but that I was bipolar and I needed to be committed. So they committed me just this last August. It was pretty exciting. Yeah.
So I had similar experience. Because I'm a veteran, I have to use a VA mostly for my medical care, and I've been to the ER several times, been admitted a handful of times, and each admission's on average 3 to 5 days. My last admission at the VA, they brought a psych doctor in, thinking that it's all in my brain, and they gave me a referral to go to a hospital outside of VA for psychiatric care, which I regret. I was so desperate that I was like, okay, this place will help me because it's not the VA. And all they did was put me in a psychiatric ward for 3 days, and it was the worst experience I'm like ever had. I don't know who would want to do that. There's some people that need it, but I did not. I did not belong in that place, and I basically begged the doctor, like, let me out of here. I'm a functioning person. I just have dystonia. I'm not suicidal, or I don't want to hurt other people, and I'm not anything like that. I own my own home. I have a family. I have a career. Um, so they let me out, and I'll never go back again, ever. I don't care how bad I am, but you said you had to commit yourself. The same happened to me, and I'll never do it again. And I feel like that what I've learned over this happened to me in 2021 when it first really kicked in. 2021 of August. I feel like it is a condition that is not very recognized or understood. And yes, some places did what they did to me or you. They say, well, it's all in your head. It's a mental condition. It's not this, it's this. I don't know about you, but I mean, the VA gave me muscle relaxers, antidepressants.
I was on 25 medications after I said, I want to do this without meds.
I still have at my home a grocery bag full of pill bottles. And my wife asked me why I still have it, and I tell her it's proof of what I went through. And maybe because of the over medication, it could have made it worse.
It absolutely made mine worse, because then the essential tremor is tardive dyskinesia, and that's from all the meds they gave us.
So, like I said, I don't know about yourself. I've been through a handful of physical therapists for months at a time.
Me too.
Several hospital visits.
Chiropractors.
Acupuncture.
Massage therapy.
All that stuff. As far as imaging testing goes, you name it, I've done it. MRIs, CT scans, X-rays, CAT scans.
Davis X-rays, which are full body X-rays.
Brain scans.
We've been so radiated.
Blood tested. And
psych test.
All these doctors have determined, well, you don't have Huntington's, you don't have Parkinson's, you don't have this, you don't have that.
So you must be making it up. Must be making it up.
You know, and the VA was getting to a point where they were just thinking that. They weren't saying it out loud, but they were thinking it, and you can feel it. So,
what are some of the symptoms that you have with cervical dystonia? I had really weird ones. Like when my onset started, my eyes did this. And I told the neurologist at the very beginning, this is my first or second neurologist. I said, my eyes are doing this. And she called me a liar to my face. She goes, oh, you're such a liar. And I was like, why would I make that up? Why would I spend my money and come here? Why? So did you have really weird symptoms? My face pulls down here, my nose pulls, my eye pulls, and I look like I have Bell's palsy, and my head goes like here, and my hands come up, and then I even have it in my feet, my whole feet and everything. I look like this when I'm having mine. It's horrible.
my neck would crank to my left, and that's why it would make my neck really sore on the right, and that's why I couldn't drive. How can I drive like this? I can't see my mirrors. I can't go like this to look at it was unsafe for me to drive, so it was a real burden on my wife having to go to work, take me all my appointments too, and pick up our kids. Cranking of the neck, hands would shake, having really hard time with balance.
Do you get them in your throat where you're being choked?
No,
Yeah, that's
not in the throat. It was the way this started. It started with my lower back or my mid back having really bad pains. Maybe from the military and the work and everything. I don't know, but it hurt all the time, even before this happened. And it started with my back, and then it worked its way up to the neck.
Do you also have an autoimmune by any chance?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Probably should get tested for it.
We're finding that most people that have dystonia do not have the perfect S in their curve in their back, and that a lot of us have an autoimmune that is attributing to this factor, an underlying cause for dystonia. So when we get the curve in our back established and the autoimmune taken care of, the dystonia really settled down for me.
So,
but how's your curve in your back? Yours is bad, right?
It was there. Being a police officer for a long time, when you wear the gear and stuff, your hips are off balance because of the belt. And what Doc was noticing from the start was I was leaning more on my right, and it was causing my back to also do that. And after months and years of being like that, it just stayed like that. So he worked, he's also got a background in chiropractic. That's what he was by trade, and he still is, but he moved into the neurological part of things. So he uses this expertise of both these fields to come up with a care plan for his patients.
The cool thing about Doc is he takes each one of us individually and body maps us, not just brain maps us, but finds out what everything is wrong with us from head to toe, and he addresses everything. Even if we have to go to other doctors for specific things, it's a whole body approach to healing. This is my 13th or 14th neurologist, and every single one of them has only offered me Botox, medication, or the brain implant stimulator. I've done all three. I've had the trial of the implant stimulator, which felt like a 10 unit in your entire body nonstop, and I was just like, I can't take it, take it, get it off, I couldn't get it out fast enough. And then the meds absolutely make me not want to live, like within 2 weeks. It just has a really bad effect on my body. And then the Botox, 27 shots in my head, and it was just, I'm already a needle phobe, and it's horrifically painful to get 27 shots in your neck and head. And then because I have it all over my body, they wanted me to get it throughout my entire body. So that's oh my gosh, how many shots is that? That's insanity. So I said, no, thank you. I quit doing that.
For me, yes, I've been seeing Doc for close to 2 years, 18 months to 2 years. I was going to Cleveland Clinic for Botox. And I'm still currently going to another hospital. I see this doctor it's only once a month for an hour. Some kind of a orthopathic manipulation. for those that are watching, do what you gotta do. If you have to go to doc only, do it. If you feel like you have to go to multiple places, like I've been doing, do it. With that being said, the Botox I don't do anymore. I haven't done it for close to a year. So all I've been doing is coming to docs 3 to 4 times a week, and I see my orthopathic manipulation doctor once a month. It used to be I'd go to her every week. Now it's down to once a month, and we may even go to every 6 months. So I'm gradually getting better, stronger, regaining my freedom to be able to do things again. I'm not working, I'm 100% disabled, but I would like to go back to the workforce. You know, I'm still young, but until I'm 100%, I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Doc, he's worked with me, like I said, close to 2 years. I won't lie. Some of his methods may seem a little odd.
They're odd because how can this possibly work? It's insane.
Yeah, you saw what I was doing.
The laser, you're tracking a laser, yeah, with your head and making a target and little things like that. It's just funny, the things that he uses, the peppermint up the nose, the clove on the tongue, I cannot believe the change in my brain from doing that. Just doing that.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to explain the science to you.
It's too much.
It's too much for my mind to understand. But if you come here, Doc will explain it to you in fine detail. You know, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And my treatment here, it used to be I was here for like 2 hours, and slowly started, you know, getting less. Maybe
well, you probably came 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon to start with, didn't you?
No,
You didn't have to do the full day?
No, I couldn't. My wife couldn't do it because of work. And
it is recommended that you come in the morning and in the afternoon for 2 sessions a day while you start. I actually relocated from Oklahoma. You come for 1 week and you do an intensive week and you get brain mapped and body mapped and x-rayed and, you know, you get tested. And by the time he's done with that week, he knows what nerves in your brain are not functioning correctly. And then he can target a plan just for you of what your exercises are going to be to build up what part of brains or where your lesions are. It's just amazing. I'm incredibly impressed, but having to relocate here, I tried going back home and doing it on Zoom, which is something that we highly recommend, that we can do this on Zoom from a distance. We have people, Doc is working with people from India, Canada, all over the place. So they can do this with Zoom successfully, but you do need a home doctor that's willing to work with Doc. Like if you need a chiropractor, he can show how to do the manipulations. If you need a physical therapist, he can show them what exercises you're doing so that they are working in cohesiveness with this program and not doing the absolute opposite. Because when I go to the physical therapist, they have me do the same thing on the right side as they have me do on the left side, which is a normal, because you know, you're thinking you're building up both sides, but when you have dystonia, one side of your brain is weaker. So you're going to do more exercises on the opposite side than that side. Because when I do it on this side, I am just empowering my overworked brain and making it worse. So there's little things that Doc would work with PTs, chiropractors, your family practitioner, very open to your team. And so I love it. I probably would not be alive right now if it wasn't for Dr. Elmer.
Just to piggyback on that, it is absolutely critical that if you're seeing multiple doctors like I am, you have to be open. And this is your healthcare team. Okay, if I'm seeing Doc 4 times a week, I'm seeing my other doctor 1 time a month. I'm going to Cleveland Clinic and Botox every 3 months. You have to let all these doctors communicate with each other, because if one is doing something that's not working out with the other, it's gonna postpone your recovery.
Very much so.
And communication is key. So don't feel like you need to hold back information from one doctor and give information. No, give them. I give them all permission through release of information to share my medical records amongst each other. And that's how they communicate. So one's not upsetting the recovery of the other or doing something that shouldn't be done. And yeah, things are great. I mean, I'm here with you now.
I'm here with you now.
We're not
We're not
wrenching
doing
our
this.
necks.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the bobblehead.
I'm not doing the full body shaking.
I'm not even just sitting in a chair when this was at its peak. Just sitting in a chair was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just going anywhere. I mean, just even when I was laying in bed, because I was shaking all the time, I was not sleeping right.
It's exhausting.
I couldn't sleep in my own bed. I literally was like, I'm gonna sleep on the floor, or I'm gonna sleep on a cot, or a bed or something. Nothing was working, and I couldn't relax.
Do you have a special pillow for under your neck? Like, I can only sleep on my back. I have 2 pillows underneath my knees to get them pretty high, because I found out doc said 1 pillow wasn't enough. So 2 pillows high. I have a blanket that I roll up because I can't find a good pillow that actually, all those, I've gone through every pillow on Amazon, the neck pillows, but they either don't actually touch the neck. And so I'm going, okay, so I have to have that support to reinforce that curve going forward, because I have a reverse curve in my neck. So do you have to do anything to keep the curve in your neck?
I do have a pillow where I can put my arm through, because I'm a side sleeper. I can't sleep on my back. I got a sleep apnea. So I sleep on my side mainly, but I've been noticing that limbs start going to sleep. Things aren't, it's winter time right now. My hips hurt, my back hurts, everything hurts when the cold comes. This just compounds all these other things. So I bought a pillow to where it's not, I'm not laying on it. It's got a hole that you can kind of hold on to and hug. Honestly, I need a new bed right now, and I'm working on that. It's like 10-year-old bed. That probably doesn't help matters, but
I found that if I sleep on a memory foam mattress and it's too soft, forget about it. I'd rather sleep on the floor. I'm sleeping on the floor right now. I sleep next to the bed. I feel like Castaway with my little flashlight.
Yeah, everyone's different. It depends, like right now my lower back hurts. It's not from anything particular. I just think it's arthritis and the cold.
I have cold triggers where if I get the chills, I'll start getting the shakes, and then bam, I have an essential tremor, and then that makes my neck tight, and then I start getting this, and it's just a cycle.
I mean, the things that Doc have gone through, like I said, he was walking with me in the hallway, trying to get my muscles to start activating. The whole peppermint in the nose and stuff like. It's these kind of things you're just like, really?
Yeah.
But don't knock it till you try it, right?
Once you start to understand the science of how the cranial nerves work, it's like, it makes sense to me now. Why am I just medicating it? And why have you been medicating me since I was 10 years old instead of fixing me? Why? They do not fix you with medication and Botox. That's not a fix. That's just a Band-Aid.
Botox is a toxin.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good for you.
And it does not exit your body.
Yeah, and it's scary because I got friends that have been taking Botox for 5, 10, 20 years. I mean, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking it only for about 1.5 years or so. I am glad that I'm off it, because I did go to Cleveland Clinic and I told the doc, look, there's nothing going on. Why am I going to keep getting this? So we did a little experiment. I would postpone it more and more and more,
mm-hmm.
see how far I can get. I'm not saying that the Botox don't help. It does. But I don't think the Botox
is the cure.
Mm-hmm. For me, I had to get multiple treatments from different places. And then I would back off the treatments. like the Botox, and the other doctor I'm seeing only once a month. Eventually, it will probably happen with Doc too, but that time hasn't come for me yet. So um, I would highly recommend Dr. Elmer for any issues, neurological or chiropractic.
So would I. Definitely.
He is a little bit hard to find. Like I said, I found him on YouTube.
That's how I found him too, YouTube.
I found him on YouTube. He had a few videos with other patients of his. And
you were the patient I saw.
What's that?
You were the patient I saw.
I know, I'm famous apparently. Yeah. And I'm going to be famous again. So, but yeah, Dr. Elmer will work with you. He will customize a care plan, and he will be as patient as he is with his patients. I see he helps everyone. I mean, I've seen people here that are handicapped. We got Jen out here that's fully handicapped, has to be bussed in. He works with kids. I've seen very young kids. He's worked with kids with special needs, full-grown adults like us.
Autism, scoliosis. The more complicated your brain problem is, that's the clients that Dr. Elmer is looking for, because he's a thinker, and he loves a brain challenge. He wants the patients who's been everywhere and you basically are ready to be done with life. Those are the people that he wants to work with, because he does not want to work with people who are going to come in and go, be lazy and not do the work. If you do not do the work, you are not going to see the results, and it is an absolute waste of his time, and because the next person can come in and be saved. And so if you are ready to really change your life, this is the place for you. But if it's kind of a meh, don't do it.
Absolutely.
He'll fire you as a patient.
I mean, medications and all, just coming in to get your treatment done, it's only part of your recovery. You have to put in the work too.
Mm-hmm. You have homework that you do at home. You take a kit home and you do it every day, 2 times a day. Every day.
Yes, when I get up in the morning, I have a regimen every day, and my day goes by quick. But I get up in the morning about 5:36, shower, go make breakfast. But the thing that sticks out is after I eat breakfast,
yeah,
I have a regimen. I'm stretching, molding. I borrowed some of the molding things from Doc.
We're selling those. You can get those here. We have the entire home kit that they can do at home and start shaping your S, get the curve back in your spine. That is a really big deal.
Yes,
and the wobble chair to get the fluid moving, to get everything warmed up. And
yes, they have a whole bunch of wobble chairs. It's basically a chair that you go side to side or front and back.
It actually stimulates brain plasticity, because this movement is the basic movement that we had before we were born, and this is what actually created our nervous system in the beginning. These tiny little movement. When you said I get up and I take a shower and I make breakfast, that alone is a feat of accomplishment.
Absolutely. My wife, God bless her heart, if I didn't have her, I don't know where I'd be at, but
yeah, thank you, my husband.
She had to do everything. She had to make all the meals for me. She had to clean the house. She had to take me to my appointments.
Deal with our drama and our attitude, because we're ready to be done with everything. Because it's unless you have it, you just can't even imagine.
No, and I would not wish this upon anyone. Oh God, no. I mean, I'd rather go to another Iraq tour, and face that horror that I've been to already twice than to do this again.
You would rather go to Iraq again than have dystonia?
Yes, because at least, nothing tells you more how alive you are than, going
running from bullets.
Running from bullets, dodging from bullets. But dystonia, it takes everything away from you. Mm-hmm. You can't do anything. It takes the enjoyment out of things. I can't go hiking like I'm a very outdoorsy person. I'm not just someone that goes to work, comes home and vegetates, you know. When I'm off duty, when I'm doing stuff, I like to go hiking. I like to go exploring. I'm a really outdoorsy type of person. I could not do it, and it was a bummer. It was terrible. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to go to Red Rock again and go hiking. I'm not ever going to be able to go take a swim again.
But don't you feel now that you can? You are going to get to be able to do that again.
We went to Lake Mead when it was a lot warmer, and the water was bathtub warm. It was like, oh my God. But I went out there. I swam a bit. Did overdo it, you know, just swam a bit. Hiked a little bit in Red Rock. Once again, moderation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to go full bore like I was. It's
That
going
is
to take
something
time.
and that when you have someone that has dystonia, you have to realize that once their brain is fatigued, they're done. You cannot push them. There is no, when you have a brain disorder, you cannot, you know how when you just keep going, and you're going to break through, and then you're going to get better because you push past that. No, not with a brain injury. You're going to push that person's brain backwards months and years. The harder you push your brain, the more your brain is going to eat itself.
And you'll know when you're at that point. For me, yesterday I had to repair some plumbing in the house. I have not repaired anything in the house in a while because of this. I couldn't do it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll crawl under the sink and repair some leaks and stuff. I started to realize when I was halfway done that my neck started to shake a little bit, and I just have to realize, hey, you know what? Time out, stop, get out from under that sink,
Mm-hmm.
go relax for a bit, and then go back and finish.
Mm-hmm.
Moderation, pace yourself. This, I'm not no doctor. I don't know, but about the science of dystonia, but from what I've studied, it can go away on its own completely. It may not. You may have to deal with some form of it for the rest of your life. Either way, don't push it. Just don't.
Mm-hmm. I had this lady tell me, Elena Bumpus, thank you very much, from, she was at a chronic pain support group in San Antonio, and she said she dealt with people with fibromyalgia and all everything. She was at the Baptist St. Anthony's Hospital, and it was this wonderful facility that you could go to. It was like the best health club you've ever seen. It had a giant Olympic pool, and it had all of the workout facilities. It had the exercise classes, but it was all for people that are kind of broken. You don't have the high, well, I come walking in and they all look at me like, what are you doing here? You belong at Anytime Fitness. And I'm like, no, I'm American too. I just project very well. And then when they see me struggling, they're like, oh, okay, she's for real. So most people don't believe me. But what she told me was that you have energy tokens. You only have so many energy tokens a day. And once you use them, they're used up. And so then you have to store back up to get more energy tokens. And I was like, I have 3 today. So that's pretty clever.
I mean, like I said, this happened in 2021, and I mean, I lost my job. I got medically retired. The VA also 100% disabled me. I mean, that's how all my bills get paid, so because I don't work anymore. But dystonia will just take everything away.
Yeah.
But because I gained a lot of weight, I gained like 20 pounds because I'm inactive. We finally joined a gym, went to EOS Fitness, and
that's a big step too.
Right. It started with me just going on a treadmill, nice easy walk for at this mile, start working its way up to like 2 or 3 miles, because
wow.
I wasn't able to do that. And running, it's a little hard still. I was able to run. I used to jog, but we're still getting to that point. But we would go to the gym, and we have a personal trainer, and I tell her what is wrong with me, and she would actually help tailor a workout
Oh,
plan
good.
towards dystonia. She didn't. The problem is dystonia is not known. It's not.
Hmm. If
I,
the ERs do not know about it, no one knows about it. It's just,
I can ask all my friends if they know what it is, and most of them will be like, I've never heard of it.
Mhm.
And when they, you can Google it, you can look on the internet,
More and
you'll
more
find out
information is
real
coming
quick
out.
what it is. But there's very few places that specialize in it or something similar for treatment. I went on Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, the VA, even locally UMC. I went to UMC twice for this because the VA hospital was too far away from my house. This dystonia also triggered other problems, like now I have some anxiety issues. I didn't want to go in a car and drive to the VA. Not me driving, my wife driving me. I couldn't handle it. So paramedics had to take me to UMC because it was
Wow.
closer. And I was freaking out. I couldn't control my emotions.
Oh yes, that's a very bad thing. That's a brain on fire, is what that is. That's a brain inflamed. When you cannot control your emotions like that, yeah, you need to get some brain balancing right away when that's happening.
So if you have or you've been diagnosed with dystonia and it's triggering other things like anxiety,
Emotional,
depression,
uncontrollable crying for absolutely no reason. I'm crying. Okay, now I'm done.
it's
It's weird.
it is
It's a nerve. It's a nerve reacting, and it's a nerve that's causing that emotion.
it's overwhelming because um like I said, we both got put into a psych ward and we didn't need to go there.
We did not need to go there. Well, I voluntarily checked. Well, I had a doctor say, "Oh, you don't have this. You're bipolar." And I'm like, "Well, dang, if I'm really bipolar, I better learn how to control this and be the best bipolar I can be." So I checked myself into a 30-day facility in San Antonio. I went every day. They put me on all the bipolar meds. Ooh, boy, did my seizures get worse, and my I had the shakes all the time, and it was just horrific. And by the time that 30 days was over, they said, "You definitely do not have bipolar, manic depression. You have situational depression, which is understandable, but these seizures, we don't know about that." Goodbye.
So if those who are watching this video, if you already been diagnosed with dystonia or movement disorder of some kind, and now you're experiencing actual mental conditions like depression, anxiety, even PTSD. I've been diagnosed with PTSD from the military.
I have diagnosis with PTSD from my experience at the psych ward. The second time, just this August, they didn't believe me, so they let me have seizures on the floor in the hallway for 6.5 hours and pinged my little ankle bracelet every 40 minutes and said, "I'm so sorry, I can't help you. They told me I can't help you because you're faking it."
Wow. My experience with the place I went to, I told my wife, like, they're supposed to put me in a wing specialized for veterans. They didn't do that. They just put me with all the other people, and I was there for only 3 days, and I seen fights. I've seen staff get assaulted. I've seen staff ignore people. I couldn't sleep when I was there, so what did they do to me? They just dropped my pants, stab me with a needle full of Benadryl, and make me go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the most awful experience.
You're a prisoner. They are not there treating you for a mental disorder. You are a prisoner. You better believe it. I was given a t-shirt and scrub pants and little ankle socks, and I said, "Oh, I need a jacket, I need a robe, I need a blanket." And they said, "You don't have the privilege of a blanket." And I said, "Excuse me? I'm here because I want to die, and you are telling me that I don't have the privilege of a blanket? I don't understand that. I'm freezing cold. I have a cold trigger. I have a neurological condition." And she's like, "Yeah, and about that, you're fantastical." So they wouldn't believe me. The cold is what triggered my seizures on the floor for 6.5 hours, and I still just had that little. I had a blanket, my little T-shirt. I was miserable. It's like 62 in those hospitals, so it was awful.
They wouldn't let me have my walker, so they gave me a wheelchair to use as a walker. So it looked crazy. It looked like I was pushing someone in a wheelchair that wasn't there. And people didn't understand that I needed the wheelchair to brace myself.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't let me have my walker.
Yeah. They wouldn't give me a wheelchair. And they said, get up and walk your ass down here and get your meds. And I'm just like, I'm having seizures. And she's like, yeah, you're faking that. Get up. And so they drugged me down the hall, threw me in the bed, threw me on my back while I was vomiting. And I'm like, Spire. And she's like, she can talk. She's faking it. Put my blankets on me, turn off the lights, left out. So I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I'm in Shutter Island right now. I am absolutely on Shutter Island right now. I cannot believe this is happening.
I know what that movie is. That's a funny thing.
You've been there too.
So it just goes to show that the condition of dystonia and movement disorders is not well understood. And hopefully over the years, it will get better acknowledgement, and doctors can figure out something of a better treatment plan than just what we've gone through. And I'm part of a movement disorder group on Facebook, and I read some of the things that they put on there, and I give my insight and my experience of what I went through. And I've mentioned to them, if they live locally or not, look up Dr. Elmer, because he will help you out from being out of state.
Yes.
I mean, you're from Oklahoma.
Yes.
I know that he sees a family from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's people from all over that come. Usually they come once a month for a week and get the full treatment, the adjustments, the brain lasering, the hands-on. The hands-on is just the best thing. But that Zoom, when you have someone that can actually tell you what's happening in your brain and this is what you do to stop that, that's a lot of help too.
I mean, we live in the age of telehealth. COVID kind of really kicked it into high gear, but it's not going away. This is the future of medicine, is telehealth.
Yeah.
If it can be done over a Zoom call or a video chat. Some things obviously can't be done over a video call. You have to physically go somewhere. Mm-hmm. Even the VA even sent a physical therapist to my home for months. I had a nurse come to my house to check on me. Like I said, I went through so much. I mean, I never imagined going through all this. I mean, it just felt like I was 80, 90 years old, and I just couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
That's what it makes you feel like.
And it's never going to end. It's never going to end.
And mind you can be fit as a fiddle or a couch potato. It does not matter.
It does not matter.
Dystonia, it's neurological. It can happen to anyone. I don't care
a car
who
wreck,
you are.
An accident, a boxing match, it can bring it on. You never know. Yeah. Well, we hope that this can help you, and that if you need help, that you do come to Dr. Elmer.
Yeah, his business called Advanced Spinal Solutions off of Flamingo Road and the 95 in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mm-hmm. Check out the Build a Brain program. Thank you.
Thank you.